So it looks like they're going to put some sanctions, energy sanctions, on the Russian government. Possibly, we might be selling Europe the oil instead of Russia. So that's how we're going to penalize them for paying for all these Facebook ads and some of these protests that were for Trump and some were anti-Trump. Because Facebook really did sway that election. I saw so many ads that said, vote Hillary, she's so great. And I went out and voted for Hillary. Or I didn't vote for Hillary because it said Hillary was really bad. And I went out and I didn't vote for Hillary because I saw a Facebook ad. But I saw a lot more things that said Trump was bad. Trump's a racist. Trump's a misogynist. Trump's a racist. He grabs pussies. Trump is stupid. Trump is Islamophobe. Trump wants to put a ban on Muslim immigration. Trump thinks that all Mexicans are rapists. Like that kind of stuff. But no, I didn't see anything. Well, yeah, I saw a lot of stuff like that on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I did see a lot of that stuff on Facebook. Pro-Hillary, against Trump. That's all I really saw. So this whole Mueller report, I don't know if you've read it yet, because they put it out there. You see, Barr is trying to be as transparent as possible, and so is Trump. These are Trump's wishes. Put it out there, get it out there, make it as unredacted as possible so everybody can see the truth. Instead, they're saying that Barr should be fired because he's working for Trump. He's trying to make Trump look good. Well, we had an attorney general called Eric Holder, and he called himself Obama's wingman. And so was Loretta Lynch. They were doing a lot of dirty dealings. Remember that Fast and Furious thing that Obama sent thousands of guns over the border, and they ended up in the hands of drug runners, and a lot of Mexicans got killed, border agents got killed, and Congress had subpoenaed him because he had to come and speak before Congress because that was bad. But he evaded the subpoena, and so he was held in contempt of Congress because he didn't show up. But he got away with it. They did some bad things, and they actually did a lot of bad things, and they got away with it because if we say anything about it, we're racist. It's not that they did something wrong. Somebody else does something wrong, we're going to call them on it. But they can do something wrong. And if we call them on it, they'll say that we're a racist. Not that we don't like your policies or any criminal behavior and care about the color. We don't care about the color of your skin. Anyway, so this report, have you read it yet? I've read it. It's 448 pages of toilet paper waste. That's basically what it's going to end up as. Andrew Weissman controlled the narrative. He was a Clinton crony. He pushed a hoax where there wasn't a crime, you see. He was pushing a hoax where there wasn't a crime. Mueller knew 3 months into it. By September, he knew that there was no collusion because he did not renew the FISA warrant. The FISA court is a secret court where David played to please the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? No, not that kind of court. A FISA court where you don't have both sides, where there's a prosecutor and defendant, lawyer for the defendant, to speak for the defendant. No, you just have one prosecutor, asks for a warrant, and gives whatever evidence they have, and they sign off on it. Most of these FISA warrants are signed off on, but the evidence they gave was the dossier. Andrew McCabe said in a statement under oath that the evidence for spying on Trump was the dossier. And we found out that that was fake. That was made up by the Hillary campaign, where she hired Christopher Steele through Fusion GPS to make up this fake dossier. So we know that she colluded with the Russians. She gave them 20% of America's finite uranium source. So we have the mother of all bombs. Remember, Trump dropped that in the nooks and crannies of Afghanistan. And Putin's got the father of all bombs. You see, it was to build nuclear bombs, and Hillary gave that finite uranium source to them so they can build nuclear bombs. So then she got $150 billion put in the Clinton Foundation, and Bubba Bill our Billy Boy got $500,000 for his birthday. He said he spoke a little bit. He probably said happy birthday and drinking a bottle of beer. Had two floozies sitting on his knees. So we know who actually did the collusion. She did. And who actually broke the law by erasing bleach bidding, by bitch blighting, over 33,000 emails. And Trump calls out, hey, anybody got those emails that she erased, that she put on a private server in her basement that was not a .gov server, so it was unprotected? And Obama knew about it because he got emails from it, and he saw the address and it didn't say .gov on it. So he knew she was doing this. So basically she was going around the world getting money from all these countries. So in return, she will do something for them. You give me money and I'll do something for you. It was a pay-for-play scam is what it was. And I think the 33,000 emails would have exposed all this and even more. But she had hammers. She hammered up phones, Blackberries, and computers were hammered and totally destroyed. So nobody could get the evidence off of them. It really sounds like she's really, really innocent, doesn't she? So who actually committed the crime? Over 33,000 emails and over 100 counts of espionage. If you gave her 1 year for each of those, she'd be in jail for at least 34,000 years. So that's what we're looking at. So there wasn't a crime here, yet he let it go on for 2 years, even though 3 months into it, when he didn't renew the FISA warrant to keep spying, he knew there was nothing to look for. At that point, he should have been honest and said, there is nothing. That's why I'm not renewing the warrants, so I can spy on people. But he did spy on Trump, and Trump was right about that. Unless you say surveillance, the Democrats go crazy. Oh, surveillance. Oh, that means it's legal. Spying is bad. It's the exact same thing. So they were trying to railroad Trump. Was Trump supposed to be placid and shrug his shoulders? Would you be placid if you won an election, did all that work to win an election? You didn't do anything wrong. And you were accused of doing something you didn't do, and then you couldn't really get your work done because you had that hanging over your head. And you had leaks, massive leaks. People who are working for you that are putting out leaks, everything is supposed to be classified, making you look like a fool. That wouldn't happen to anybody. That wouldn't have happened to any other president. If it was done to Obama, everybody who did it would be called a racist and dragged into court. They wouldn't have accepted it if that was done to Obama. But because if you say that Trump is a racist, he is Islamophobe, he's misogynist, you just call him a bunch of names, and he's stupid, then it's okay to do this. But clearly, we don't even know Obama's great, so we don't know. And everything he says, he reads all off a teleprompter. How do we know how smart this guy is? I don't know. This was all started by a dirty cop, CIA, FBI, Brennan and Comey. Brennan, who voted for the communist candidate, in the 1977 election when Carter ran. He voted communist and Comey. All because it was in the president's right, because the FBI director serves at the pleasure of the president. That's why this whole thing started. That was obstruction of justice. When Hillary, because she blamed him even before the election, that actually made her look really bad. He laid all her sins out and then said no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute her for this, but they would all, and especially if it was Trump, they would all prosecute her. I mean, Trump would be in jail for so long, like they'd shoot him out into outer space, like in a jail cell, and he'd be floating out there till the end of time. That's what they would do to Trump. But no, Hillary. Oh no, we can't put Hillary in jail. Obstruction of justice was Andrew Weissman's handiwork. Andrew Weissman, he was supposed to attend the gala party, the victory party, Hillary's victory party, but he was really pissed that he didn't. And he's one of the people on the panel that Mueller hired. See, he hired a bunch of Clinton and Obama cronies. So if this was done to, first of all, it would be because of racism if it was done to Obama. And then if you had everybody was biased in one direction, you were not going to get a fair shake. You know that they were going to pull out all the stops and make you look guilty even though you're not guilty. And in fact, the conclusion is that there is no evidence of even obstruction. It's just like, this should be stopped. It's going to ruin my presidency. I mean, saying stuff like that is pretty darn normal. And it's pretty darn normal to be concerned about it because it's interfering with him running the country. Instead of all these politicians we voted you into office to work for us so you can make this a better country, better place to live, and you're obsessing about a hoax, something that isn't even true. And you're trying to get him on not firing Mueller because he was trying to obstruct. That's what you're getting on. He's trying to obstruct. He didn't do it. It should be based on action, not on inaction, not on saying, hey, this isn't fair. They're going to ruin my presidency. And these are all Clinton and Obama cronies on this panel that are going to lie about you, are going to find or make that report look like something happened. Something happened, but we just couldn't find the evidence. And the Democrats are going to run with this and totally impeach him. He hired Obama and Clinton cronies who donated to their campaigns. Within 60 days of his appointment, he knew there was no collusion, and he stretched it out to make it look like something. There was no collusion because he didn't renew the FISA warrant, the illegal FISA warrant, which he was spying on the Trump campaign with, but he didn't need it anymore because he knew there was no evidence. So by right, he should have stopped this in September of 2017. But he didn't because he's such a great guy. He worked under Obama. He was the FBI director under Obama. And then Comey was the FBI director. And Mueller was the head of the FBI when this whole Uranium One deal went off and paying of the fusion GPS, the Christopher Steele dossier. His handiwork is all over this. This guy is not a Boy Scout. Did not allow the president to be interviewed because they would have ensnared him like they ensnared Flynn. So they're saying that there's obstruction because he did not get interviewed. He would not get interviewed. So clearly he's hiding something. But no, he didn't do it because they ensnared Flynn when they went to talk to him. And they said, oh, this is off record. We're just coming in to say hi. You don't need your attorney with you. No, we're just coming in to say hi. And he thought to himself, because the whole Russia narrative, the lie was all over the place, I better not say that I spoke to the ambassador of Russia, which is what Nixon's security officer did, and what Reagan's security officer did, and what Obama's security officer did before they were inaugurated. Russia reached out to them, to the administration, to speak to them. That's normal. That's the way it's done. When you elect someone as president, he starts his presidency before he becomes president and gets to know all these people. So because of that, that was obstruction of justice. And he just said, I know this trial. I'll just say I didn't talk to anybody. Because he knew that they were going to ensnare him on something, and they would have ensnared the president on something. There was no evidence. This was a sleazy Wiseman obstruction of justice section. One was talking about firing Comey. It's his prerogative to fire Comey. Even Hillary wanted him fired. They said they did not want to issue a subpoena. They had concluded there was no crime. No judge would issue it. They would have gone whooped 9-0. Miss Sue had contact with Papadopoulos, not Papadopoulos with Miss Sue. Miss Sue reached out to Papadopoulos, and then they pulled Papadopoulos in for possibly speaking to the Russians. God forbid. The Russian honeypot met with Fusion GPS before and after the meeting with Don Jr., which she said it was about adoption, but she told Don Jr. it was about, she had some dirty stuff on Hillary. So he said, okay, I'll meet with you, I'll see what it is. And then when she got there, she said it was about adoption. This is a cover-up. Comey was to keep it away from what the previous administration did. Deconstructed by Bill Barr, up-and-coming grand jury investigation will make it look like a roll of toilet paper. There cannot be another special counsel. Grand jury, that's what we need, to investigate the FBI and CIA. Christopher Wray was nowhere to be found. I would fire him fast. We'll get to the bottom of who did the unmasking, who went to FISA illegally, got information about innocent Americans. The president didn't invoke special privilege over the Mueller report. He opted for transparency. Yes, Trump could have invoked special privilege. It was his prerogative to. That is one of the things that is granted to the president of the United States. He could have said, no, I don't want anybody looking at this. But instead he said, I want transparency. Let them see as much as possible. Otherwise, they're going to say, if they don't see something, that we were keeping something from him. He was trying to hide something. Unlike Eric Holder, who was called to testify before Congress regarding Fast and Furious, gun running to Mexican drug cartels, which caused the death of thousands of Mexicans and Border Patrol agents, he did not show up to testify, and he was held in contempt. Nothing happened because he worked for Obama, just like Hillary. POTUS did not, nor did anyone associated with his campaign, work for or offer to work with the Russians. This was a soft coup the deep state loyalist to Hillary represents, with the party that affiliates most with the deep state. This was all a lie. 2 years the country was put through effort to make the president look like a traitor. Can we definitely say that POTUS will no longer have to deal with those lies who are supposed to be the guardians of the truth tellers that do not think anything is wrong?